This is Coogan Cassius for IFL TV. We're in the Liverpool Hilton Hotel here for the Mersey Beat press conference. You might not recognise him because of this stupid haircut he's got. Tony Bellew. What's going on?
First thing Coogan said to me is, that's a white man's haircut. Now Coogan, I'm half and half, and you've got the same haircut as me, so what does that say for you?
Well,
Come on.
alright, okay.
That's the first one.
Quite the same, isn't it? It is actually, it is a bit like mine.
Now number 2, I'm disgusted in you for not attending Canada. I am one of your longest serving members, you disgrace of a man. I am disgusted. Eddie pays you £500 a week. You could have at least got the airfare to get over there. That's disgraceful. Now there's my rant done. Let's have the questions.
Let's just clarify something. Listen, since we've been doing this, I've been to all your fights, right? Except the Stevenson fight.
You obviously foreseen what was going to happen, didn't you? You had your great nan's dad, Nan, witch doctor, voodoo doll me, and you seen what was going to happen. Didn't you? Why didn't you let me know what was going to happen? Because I wouldn't have showed up if I knew that was going to happen. You should have let me know. Once again, I'm disgusted in you. You should have let me know.
No, don't be like this, because this is making me feel bad. Can we just clarify that Eddie doesn't pay me £500 a week? And
okay. Eddie pays you $750 a week, sorry, not $500.
Listen, if I could have afforded to come out there, I would have come out there, regardless of whether I thought you was going to win,
with
lose,
Paul and
draw.
Stephen.
What?
I've heard you were surfing with Paul and Stephen in LA.
I'd deny this. How are you?
I'm alright, mate. I'm okay. Life goes on. I've lost the fight. I'm not dead. Life goes on.
Okay, it's a good attitude to have. Tony, just going back to that fight, like I said, before you went into the fight, you knew what power Stevenson had and how good he was.
Without doubt, I always knew that. Listen, with 10-ounce gloves on, if Adonis Stevenson hits anyone clean, they're hitting the floor. That was apparent. I knew that going in. That was the game plan was based around if you get caught clean, we know what we've got to do. The fact of the matter is, I went in there, the game plan was going okay, it was going sound until, in the third round I had a really bad round. I got caught clean on 4 occasions, right on the button, but I seen them coming, so I took them. I comes out the 4th round, I really has a go at them. I puts them back, I puts them down. For me it was a knockdown. I can't say legitimate because the punch came from the back of the head where I hit him. But it was a knockdown, the referee didn't give it. But you can see really when fighters go down and they're pushed over, they usually jump up and they're arguing with the referee. He's pushed me over. That's not what Adonis Stevenson done. What he chose to do was he goes down, he lets the referee, gets up slowly, takes stock of where he is, and then, has his hands wiped down, and then he goes on the back foot for the first time in the fight, and he's very clever about how he does it. So, I get through that round, I'm on top in that round. Maybe that's the only round I've really got a share in. It comes to the 6th, I get caught with a big shot. It's as simple as that, huge uppercut comes right through my hands. I didn't see the punch coming. Next thing, I'm on the floor, I'm up, I'm ready to fight and carry on, but then, I made the cardinal sin of backing myself into a corner. He lands again, fully, cleanly, and basically I didn't even see that punch coming, so the rest of me is a blank. The referee stopped the fight, he was right to stop the fight. And listen, heartbreak for me really was, because not for 1 second did I anticipate that happening, did I believe that could happen. But like I say, life goes on, this is boxing. It's a brutal sport. But at the same time, if I could change anything, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go back, I'd do it all again. And I'm grateful for the experience.
Well, repeat what you just said there, Bellew.
I'm too honest for my own good. I need to tell more lies. Nice picture, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Look like you've just been in a war.
Yeah, usually the way with me.
The decision for you to go to Cruiserweight.
Yeah.
When have you thought about this before during your career?
Tons of times. I've always thought about it, but I've always had this attitude, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, listen, Adonis Stevenson snapped it in half and I'm putting the pieces back together now, so that's the best way. I knew on the Thursday. On the Wednesday I made £175 after training. I was £175. I went back, I was in the hotel. I went up to have 2 breasts of boiled chicken and a bottle of water. I ate the 2 breasts of boiled chicken, I drank the bottle of water, and I was £5 heavier. Now, the food did not physically weigh that much that I ate, but I was £5 heavier, and that £5 would not come off until the morning of the weigh-in. I trained for another 3 times between the Wednesday and the Friday, and it wouldn't come off. So on the morning of the weigh-in, you know, it was hot bath time. It was just a torturous, horrible time. To be totally honest, it's the worst I've ever had to struggle to do weight, and it killed me. But I don't make any excuses. That's not what affected the fight. What was in Adonis Stevenson's gloves is what affected the fight. So I don't make no excuses. But I'm not a fool. I know it helped contribute towards that. I'm not stupid. But like I say, you know, listen, when you're sitting in a red hot bath, and I mean red hot, watching Kevin Hart, the comedian, on your iPad, and 1 second you're laughing and the next second you're in tears, you know you're going through an awful lot of shit. And that's just that's the truth, that's the fact of the matter. That's what went on that morning. And like I say, I don't regret it. I don't know what I had to do to make the weight, and it's just a shame. But listen, like I say, if I went in there and would have made the weight perfect, I'd have still got caught with that left uppercut. The guy's got serious dynamite in his hands. He's the biggest puncher I've ever came across. Even the punches that he was landing to the body, the sickening. He's such a heavy-handed fighter, so I don't blame them making the weight on the loss, but you know, I do know it's a contributing factor.
Two of the best in this division are Stevenson and Kovalev.
Yeah.
Kovalev's went over cleverly, you know, made cleverly do the same thing as what you're doing, going to Cruiserweight. So this is interesting now with you both are not in this division. You're ranked in this division already, aren't you?
Number 7 with the WBC. And just while I'm on this matter, I'd like to clear up this big thing of Kovalev and Stevenson. Right, the first thing is, I like Kovalev, an absolute diamond of a guy. I met him in Canada, we got talking, 20-minute chat. He's a gentleman, a top fella, and I wish him the best of luck in the world. I really hope he reigns the division for a long time. That's why, you know, there's a possibility he can too. When it comes to Stevenson, he's a horrible little man. He's a horrible piece of work. You know, from his past to the way he is, to the way he walks, carries himself, the swagger. He's a horrible little man. But you can't be getting involved with people whether they're horrible or not. He's a fantastic fighter, an amazing fighter, a seriously powerful fighter. So that's my opinion on the two of them as people. Now, everyone's gone on about what I've said when they fight. The thing that I said when they fight is that Stevenson doesn't have this invincibility factor about him. He believes he knows he can be knocked out because it's happened to him. So he fights very, very cleverly on the defensive side. The guy's virtually impossible to hit with a clean shot. I know. I've been in there with him. I've watched him. I've studied him. He's virtually impossible to hit with a clean shot. You can't gauge the range with him. You can't find your feet with him. The footwork's out. He's got longer arms than you'd expect. He's very powerful. And at the same time, when he makes you miss, he makes you pay with his speed. He has the speed of a super middleweight and the power of a cruiserweight. And I mean a big cruiserweight too. So I just feel his defence is the defining factor. You come over to Kovalev now. Kovalev, I rate massively. I'll be honest, before he fought the Taff, I didn't really think he was that great. I thought he was very limited, but then I watched him fight him, and that wasn't the fight that really impressed me because I knew he would trade with him and stand with him, and I knew that would be, you know, the defining factor. But what had shocked me the most is looking at him closely and studying his other fights is the pressure he puts on and the way he forces fights. But he's got that invincibility thing about him. He believes he's invincible because he's never been knocked out, he's never been down as a pro. He believes he is invincible, and that for me will be the undoing in him if he fights Stevenson. I don't believe any other fighter will do him because he'll be too powerful. He'll override them, he'll maraud them, he'll jump on them, and he's a clubbing puncher. He's not one punching it, you're out clean. He's like I say, he's a marauding fighter, he pressures you, his footwork's good, he knows how to cut the ring off, but he takes huge chances, something Stevenson doesn't do, and I just believe that will be the difference in when they fight. I hope I'm wrong, I really hope he flattens Stevenson and puts him clean out, but the fact of the matter is, I just think his superior defence and how hard Stevenson is to it will be the difference, and he'll draw Kovalev onto something massive and he will land. And that's, you know, that's my opinion of the fight. Like I say, once again, I hope I'm wrong. Kovalev's a top fella, a gentleman, and I really hope he rules the light heavyweight division for a long time.
Okay. Talking about your new weight division now, on the world scene there's some very talented fighters, as you mentioned in the press conference, the likes of Huck and Hernandez and Guillermo Jones and
Christoph Wuldrach.
Yeah.
All great champions, world-class fighters, proven fighters. No easy touches there. All being in and around fighters with each other. You know, it's crazy when you look at the records and you study the fights that they've lost. It's like, I wouldn't say they're flukes, but the one-off incidents really where they lose. You know, you've got Wayne Braithwaite who's defeated, you know, Juan Pablo Hernandez, but then, you know, he goes in and beats better fighters than Wayne Braithwaite. So it's like they've had a lapse of concentration and lost one fight, and then they get back on the job and they do it. So the division's really good. I'd say without a shadow, without Marco, Huck is the most exciting cruiserweight in the world. The guy just loves a fight. He really does. He's dangerous. He's brutal. He can really fight. As for the other world champion, Christoph Waldrak is possibly the most solid, well-rounded fighter. He does everything well. He's tough, takes a good shot, can get up off a knockdown, and can win fights on points by knockout, whatever. He's got a great engine. You know, I go to Guillermo Jones, very awkward, the southpaw again, 6'4". You know, the two biggest fighters in the division is Juan Pablo Hernandez and Guillermo Jones, both at 6'4", both southpaws, both very awkward. Hernandez is a Cuban, outstanding boxer, has power in the left hand. Guillermo Jones likes to really mirage it again, force it, but then at the same time he can be very difficult to hit. He can be slippy as well. He is an awkward fighter. And then, you know, you come to the always exciting and, you know, forever demanding Marco Huck. The guy's just, he's going to end up a legend in the cruiserweight division. He really is, because he fights in great fights. So, like I say, I'm coming into an exciting division with established world champions, and I'm hoping to make my mark in this division. I really am. You know, I want to get, you know, Eddie said to me, we could really have a fight and see how you feel this way, but, you know, listen, my two goals in boxing are to earn a living for me and my kids, and the number two is to become a world champion. Now, fighting an absolute crab and a nobody is not going to do anything for them two things I've just stated that I want to do in boxing. So, you know, we'll go in with Valery Brudov, a 45 fight, you know, career, 41 wins, 28 by knockout. This guy's had more knockouts than I've had fights. So, you know, he's got a good record, he is a good fighter. And, you know, this is a dangerous fight, make no mistake, but if I'm going to be anything in the cruiserweight division, I have to beat this guy and look good beating him. You know, it's a test, and it should let me know and everybody else know where I'm at in the cruiserweight division. And
can the fans look forward to a potential rematch at a different weight with he you didn't want to speak about at the press conference?
Yeah, you know, do I really believe he's going to come to this weight? No, I don't. But if he does, then so be it. Listen, I'm all about fighting for the world title. I'm not about chasing some clown who doesn't really want to fight anymore. So, you know, I've got no interest in chasing him around, trying to get a fight with him. If the fight comes, it comes. He's the only person in boxing that I can really say I just despise him, everything about him. He's a fraud. He's just a fraud, you know. Listen, I've come out of a bad defeat. He comes out of a bad defeat. He's not seen for months. Doesn't face up to anything. I come out, I face the media, I face the music, you know. It is what it is. This guy goes missing for months at a time. He's a fraud. He doesn't want to take place in boxing. He doesn't want to come anywhere near me. If he did want to come near me, he'd have took the rematch when I begged for it in an office in London on the 22nd of December many years ago. He doesn't want nothing to do with me. So, you know, it is what it is. This is boxing, but I'm not about chasing a fighter for a fight. I'm about trying to become world champion. That's all I want to do. I want to go out there, I want to earn a living for myself and my family, get myself a decent house where my kids can be, and, you know, get them into a nice school. That's all that my career is about, and like ultimately become a world champion. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about no fighters individually. I just care about doing what's best for me and mine.
Alright, listen, Tony, thanks for talking to IFL TV.
IFL TV. You're changing the name again?
Oh, it's just IFL TV.
iFilm TV.
IFL TV.
No, don't be giving me IFL TV. It's iFilm London.
Alright, you can call it what you want. But how's your team getting on? What happened the other day?
We won 2-1 at home to Villa.
No, before that.
No, I'm not talking about before that.
No, but
I'm not talking about before that. Oh, should we talk about the first game of the season at the Emirates?
Should we talk about where we are at the moment?
I think you're a fantastic team. Now let me just remind you, I'm pretty sure, at the beginning of the season, I was hearing shouts of Wenger out.
Not from me, you wouldn't.
From Arsenal fans.
Forget him. Now, Arsenal have got fickle fans. Listen,
do you remember me coming on my Twitter and saying Arsene Wenger is one of the greatest managers the Premiership has ever seen? You need to stand by your man. I said that on my Twitter.
I weren't one of these people.
And these Arsenal fans gave me abuse. They gave me hell. He's not the man for the job. He is a fantastic manager. we need to start showing confidence in our managers instead of just sacking them at the drop of a hat, bringing them in, bringing new guys in. Stick by your manager, stick by your team through thick and thin. I've witnessed everything possible and Everton fans witness.
Can I ask you a question?
I love my club.
Do you gloat a little bit that you're sitting ahead of Moyes at the moment? A little bit?
No, I don't, because I like the gaffer, and you know, when he was at Everton, he was a great manager. But what I am happy is, and what I am over the moon and ecstatic about, is that the way we've adjusted to Martinez's tactics and how quick we've done it. At Liverpool, you know, Rodgers comes in. It's a transitional period. The first season, we're going through changes. We're doing this now. Martinez comes into Everton. We're going through a transitional period. We're going through a tough start, but we're doing so well while we're going through that thing. So that's what I'm over the moon about, and the boss's new tactics and the way we play football. The best football I've seen at Everton in 2 decades, and that's down to Roberto Martinez and the way he plays the football and the way he goes about business. It's fantastic. He's improved the squad, which was very hard to do considering what he already had. And it's a great time to be an Evertonian, you know, albeit we lost to Liverpool. Okay, big wow. One game doesn't define a season. It's one game. Okay, it's the derby. It hurts. Yeah, it does. I was there. I sat in the Anfield Road end and I watched that happen. But, like I say, one game doesn't define a season. If any other fan, would you take a loss to them, that 4-0 loss, and finish above them? I'd take that every single season. So, you know, listen, one game doesn't define a season. And also, you know, I should also say I'm made up that the 2 clubs are doing well, because it puts Merseyside football back on the map big time and shows what we're both really about, and both fans are getting to see great football, so that's great.
Okay, Tony Bellew, I've had you for longer than I anticipated having you. Don't have the I won in Canada.
You're a disgrace, and I just want you to admit that on TV.
Your first world title, Cruiserweight, you pay for it, I'm there.
Okay, yeah.
I'll take it at your purse.
That's a deal. Eddie takes enough.
I bet he does. Alright, this is Coogan Cassius, Tony Bellew, IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Keep watching.